Hello guys, welcome back to Pie and Pie. Well, today we'll be playing some CK3, but there's something interesting. I'm going to be narrating the story of the legends of the House of Pie. P-I, by the way, not P-I-E. But we'll first start off with the Grand Adventurer, Pie. His adventures start in Wales, and he shall see his family grow from a lonely adventurer to the grand empire of a nation. This empire nation I shall reveal, but his goal is to become a great family name, a household name of the Pies. Remember to subscribe, and by the way, I'm planning to upload at least once a month, so if you guys want to see more CK3 narrations, like and subscribe and tell me down in the comments, and I might do this next month, or I might do this next week, depending on how my free time is not so looking so free. That's all I gotta say. His adventures start with him planning to become a grand mercenary, ready to fight the enemy at any costs. His battles were not so legendary in the beginning, but he will win. He shall fight and join wars, and he shall become a legendary figure. He will be made into a great man. Well, starting off strong, our first mercenary contract was against Alb, aka Scotland. Of course, we swiftly defeated them all, quickly and efficiently. Our second one was shortly after, stealing some veggies and fruit and supplies from the local London people. Then, I invaded Kent with my mercenaries and easily swept the ground, making blood work of the enemy. Easy dubs, that's all I gotta say. The battles I fought of my mercenary contracts were legendary, against Normandy especially. We won that one swiftly and insanely fast, and I became a great friend of him. He invited me out to his hunting camp, and I joined. But the grace of God is always on the good Christian side. And a crusade was called. The faithful participate in a grand holy war against the kingdom of Lithuania. Lithuania will perish, and it shall fall beneath my knees, and I shall worship God, the one true God. Those pagan heathens shall perish. So we thought. Once the crusade was called, I sent my troops all the way down to Rome to meet the great crusaders for the grand parade in Rome's great city. We marched our way all the way up to Lithuania. Surprised by 10,000 pagan troops came upon us, slew us all down, and we barely survived. Only 2 of my men were left. Myself and my son were the only ones left, and it was a devastating blow to the Christians, which we never recovered, which soonly left us to the death of our great crusade, and the death of Pie the First, of the great Iron Knights, whose face is so sigma, who slowly die of depression and heart failure after the Great Crusade. After my father's death, I was extremely depressed, and I soon enough died. My brother took over. Pigrid Pie of the Iron Knights took over. And his main goal in life was to finish the one job I had that his brother never did. Kill the bandits of England. And so he began his grand preparation for the killing of the revenge for his brother's death of the bandits of England. He began fighting and destroying everything. He was a sickly man, sick and find himself wounded all the time, trying to persevere in France and finding a grand purpose. So when he finally had enough courage to bring himself up, he was ready to start adventuring back to England and taking down the bandits who killed him. He successfully slew them all down and killing every single one. But soon enough he got sick and was sent to the coast of England, and there he lived for a while, afraid of leaving his hideout, scared of catching the illness of the smallpox. So he stood there for many years, waiting for his time to leave again, and to get married once again and have a lot of kids, because he apparently had no kids at this time. What a loser, you know? But back to the story. He kept on mercenarying in England and helping out the local man of Wales. Spain was kind of formed, but that slowly fell apart after falling of the father of Spain died. Then he was deciding on where to move next, waiting for a crusade to be called again, so he could fight amongst like his father did against the Lithuanians, except fighting grand Muslims, the worst of the worst religious. The battles were not over. A crusade was called, a grand crusade, for the great empire of Andalusia. I have volunteered myself to attack, and I would send myself as the King of Madrid. My goal was to become a grand empire through there. Of course, with my grand experience, I easily slew the enemies, followed the strong armies around, and killing the weak. Very, very easy. Soon enough, we would take all of Spain for us, and Christendom would take Spain for its glory. After becoming the Count of Madrid, I soon enough would try to dismantle my army that I could not maintain at all. Of course, I started working my way towards creating a grand empire of Andalusia. Of course, Andalusia, filled by rebels, fell faster than a Timbuktu can call. Soon enough, I was under the influence of Exebel, a territory basically of South Portugal. Soon enough, I had a grand emperor who was a conqueror, and he would try to invade Castile, who was married to the Kingdom of England, who the Queen of Castile looks like a man, but that's besides the point. Anyway, the battles would begin, and I would soon enough expand Madrid's capabilities. Well, after the Grand Conquest, Madrid was a massive state. But then Piglet, the honest of Madrid, died. His death was horrifying, but don't worry, his son, a great, great man, holy man, called Chieftain Pi, took over, and he was now the Count of Madrid. His siblings took Toledo and Chilata, and this soon enough would lead to their deaths. Soon and fast and quick. And he took them back faster than you can say Toledo. So, after taking that, he felt endangered. England was in Spain now. 100 Years' War-esque felt like this. The two crowns united. England and Castile united. Well, that was that. I was terrified. Great terrified of England. So I turned to the great, great people of the papacy. And they offered me nothing this time. I kept on helping my king, my liege, take over great swaths of land throughout the English and the last Muslim stronghold in Spain. Soon enough, the Pope reached out to me and said, "Will you, Count Pi and Pi, really, like to have the Kingdom of Italy?" Kingdom of Italy was in our grasps. I could take it now, for it was mine, and mine only. And he gave it to me, so I prepared a grand army of over 8,000 troops of men, ready to attack the great empire of Italy, the kingdom. The great invasion began with the great speech held in Madrid by me, Great Pi and Pi, who invaded them with swiftness and absolute destruction of 8,000 men, sailed across the Mediterranean and attacked Italy, sieged them, and killed thousands upon thousands of Italians. After our grand victory, we were hailed as the kings of Italy. And my puppets, aka my duchies and duchies, did not like me, so I increased my crown level, so I kicked them out of there and started a rebellion. But don't worry, my 10,000 troops now invaded them and quickly destroyed them faster than you could say Toledo. Now, after this great influence, we made our capital Florence, a great grand city, soon to be known as the Great Empire. Now, we overtook the Holy Roman Empire, because he has my lands, so I invaded them, slewing thousands of great Holy Roman Empire soldiers died, but we won. It was a long war, over 10 years. It was about to be a white peace, but I did an epic victory, which made me win. Soon enough, we had the original borders of Italy to our grasp. The great King Pi and Pi soon enough died. This death was tragic. Soon enough, we had ourselves King Pi II, He arose to the throne faster than you could say Italy. He was a smart man. Being Italian himself, raised by an Italian teacher, learned the ways very fast and very well. He was extremely well liked and well loved by the people. Now, his orders, as his ambition grew, he wanted to form the Italian Empire. The empire which could bring back Rome. A Roman Empire proceeded from God of Christianity. And thus he began his look for the future and started a propaganda campaign of saying how great his father was, of making him a legend. And he now was looking forward towards the one place he needed to control. Sicily. Kidding. Sardinia. Sardinia, a southern island in the Mediterranean, pretty big, is a kingdom, and so he invaded it by setting claims from his bishop and saying that he needed to take it now or else they shall all die. And his campaign into the great cities of Sardinia were insane. His conquest was slow and arduous, but he slowly won that war, faster and quicker than any other war they ever fought. With the mercenaries he controlled, he quickly won the war, and bringing forth a new era of peace in the empire. So they thought. We don't know anymore, because they could have just died, you know. After getting enough money, King Pius II became Emperor Pi of Italia. Now his empire was massive. The empire was grand, and it was great. Now, the story must come to an end. So far, the Pi lineage is long and arduous and holy, filled with crusaders and holy men all alike. And if you want a part 2 to this, just let me know in the comments. Maybe like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, and bye-bye. Pi and Pi is out. Woohoo!